I was on Tucker Carlson, and he did a 1-year anniversary show about the war in Ukraine. So he brought me on. I was the last to go on. So a lot of people stepped on my shit already. And so here I want to play that now, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the piece that Mediaite did, a hit piece on me for it. You ready? So go to whatever camera this is.
So it seems obvious the Biden people did it, but in doing it, they not only caused this massive environmental catastrophe, but they also shafted their so-called NATO allies. Why does no one seem to care about this?
Well, you know, Americans well, people forget what happened is Americans are the most propagandized people in the world, right?
Yes, that's
and they don't
true.
even know what's happening with the Nord Stream pipeline. They think that propaganda happens to other people. So this is 100% propaganda war. And why doesn't Joe Biden want to investigate this? Why doesn't Congress want to investigate this? If they investigate it, they'll know it'll show that the United States didn't do it and Russia did it. So why don't they want to investigate it? Sweden, Denmark, and Norway already did their own investigation of this. They won't release it. Why won't they release this investigations? Just like they don't want to investigate the cause of the coronavirus outbreak. They don't want to know the answers. They don't want to investigate them because they already know the answers. You know, America is turned into, Chris Hedges has called America a mafia state. A tiny cabal of people have control of our government, and they're using it to do war for economic profit. You know, the difference between our mafia state now, back then, the mafia helped defeat the Nazis back then. Now we're actually arming Nazis. You know, and isn't it just like America to ignore the Nazis that are suffering here at home trying to buy eggs while we fund Nazis in other countries? It's unbelievable what's happening. This is really about World War III. And why aren't they investigating it? No, they won't even ask them a question. You know, Cy Hirsch's article came out detailing how they all blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, and the American press won't even ask the people he named in that article a question about it. They won't ask Victoria Nuland. They won't ask Jess Sullivan. They won't ask Anthony Blinken. In fact, those people won't even give a statement about it. You know who will talk about it? Kirby. The press secretary at the White House. Because I'm sure the people who did the investigations have a pipeline right to Kirby, but not to Anthony Blinken, not to Sullivan, not Victoria Nuland. By the way, these are the same people who lied us into the Iraq war, lied to us about Libya, lied to us about Syria, dropped so many bombs in Syria they ran out of bombs. They're doing the same thing. America is the world's terrorist. We have 400 military bases surrounding China. We provoke this by people don't know that the CIA got in bed with the right-wing Nazis in Ukraine to overthrow the democratically elected government of Ukraine in 2014. We had a peace deal. It was called the Minsk Accord. And then they violated. Who violated it? Ukraine kept shelling the Donbass, which are the Russian speakers in the eastern part of the Ukraine. And that's why Putin had to be provoked to invade to protect those people. Nobody will tell you that. Everybody who talks about every other news station, by the way, you're the only one doing this. And I applaud you for letting people come out and tell the truth about what's actually happening in Ukraine. Other stations, when I watch, what they do is they start the history of Ukraine from Putin's invasion. They never tell you that we overthrew their democratically elected government in 2014. They never tell you that they didn't stop shelling the people in the Donbass. They never abided by the Minsk Accord. They don't tell you that the former German prime minister said that the reason why they did the Minsk Accords in the first place was so that Ukraine could build up their military to get ready for this war that they're provoking. So the American people are waking up. There was a big, anyway, I'll leave it there.
You sound like a Putin shill, Jimmy Dore. This is the most propagandized country in the world. It makes me sad to agree with you, but I do. Jimmy Dore, thank you so much.
Oh my God.
He joins us now. Jimmy Dore.
Okay, so that was I think that was a good spot. I got a lot of information on. I had a thing. He asked me about why is Germany going along with this, and I had an answer at the ready, and I forgot it. And it's because whether it's over a Bavarian pretzel, whether it's over a Chinese wonton, our friendship comes under the barrel of a gun. Okay. That's why. And so Germany's going along with it because of the unbelievable pressure we've been putting on them. But now their people are pushing back. There's actually been anti-war rallies, tens of thousands of people showing up in Germany.
Well, didn't they also take down their other forms of power? And like they got rid of their nuclear power. They got I can't remember the other thing it did. It was like crazy. And they got on coal. They went off nuclear and went back onto coal, which is like way dirtier.
Germany did?
Yeah, it was like their Green Party there. That's one of their things. Their Green Party is the ones really supporting. I'll fight for Ukraine. That lady.
Their Green Party is a little bit of a warmonger.
Yeah, so it coincides. It's like a greenwashed.
It is
left party.
They got the Green Party over there.
Yeah.
They got them. But I wanted to show this article. So Mediaite covered that. Me going on Tucker Carlson. Notice how many times they say the word conspiracy. Just notice.
If you say CIA one time, that's a conspiracy.
So I hate to agree with you, but I do. Tucker Carlson co-signs Jimmy Dore's baseless claims that the United States arms Nazis in Ukraine. Now, do I really have to show you all the evidence that they admit that there's Nazi battalions, the Azov battalion. Everybody, they don't even hide it. So just stop it with that. Okay, but they're not gonna. So a baseless claim. So here they are. At least they show the video. I appreciate them showing the whole video. That's where I got my copy of it. I got it from me.
Whoa! Look at that. Dore was introduced.
That 2023 Range Rover. It's fantastic.
It's really great.
Comedian and political commentator Jimmy Dore went on a rant during an appearance on Fox, claiming the United States is protecting Nazis.
In quotes.
In quotes. As if they're not. As if they don't exist.
Do Nazis exist?
In Ukraine, during a conspiracy-laden tirade on Fox News' Carlson tonight. Conspiracy-laden.
Okay.
Dore was introduced to discuss the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage, a topic that host Tucker Carlson has repeatedly fixated on.
Get over it.
Get
That's
it.
weird.
We're provoking World War III. Why do you keep fixating on that?
What do you want to see the Epstein list next?
That's so yesterday. What do you want to know where the COVID virus came from?
Balloon.
So they're trying to shame Tucker Carlson for covering the Nord Stream pipeline.
Why even bring it up?
The thing that other newscasts won't cover is, and if they do, they don't cover it accurately. Tucker's actually covering it, giving it the proper amount of attention, and covering it correctly. And that's what they smear him for. So Tucker Carlson has repeatedly fixated on in recent months while making unsubstantiated claims. Notice they don't say incorrect claims.
Dude, read.
They say unsubstantiated. How are you supposed to substantiate what the CIA did in secret? We all know what they did.
I mean, I guess you could substantiate it by, the openly saying they're going to do it.
Yeah. How about
then go and thank God, that's great that happened. I wonder who did it. Santa.
How about Joe Biden, the Secretary of State? Everybody's saying they're going to do it, and then they did it.
And then when they go, a reporter goes, but that's the thing that stuck out is the reporter go, but like, how will you do that?
Yeah,
like, disturbed.
Yes.
He goes, trust me.
Trust me, we're going to get it done. So they make him seem like he's crazy, even though Tucker Carlson is just repeating the words of Joe Biden and the Secretary of State. So I'll keep reading. He is making unsubstantiated claims that the United States was behind attacks on the pipeline and is now trying to cover it up. Multiple U.S. officials with National Security Council spokesman John... Do you see what they're doing? So nobody in the administration who got named in that Cy Hirsch article is being asked questions about the Cy Hirsch article with detailed how they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. And the people he named aren't giving out even a statement or being asked. I'm talking about Victoria Nuland. I'm talking about Jake Sullivan. I'm talking about Secretary of State Antony Blinken. You know who is talking about it? The spokesperson. The spokesperson? He'd got the info, but not the actual person. So they're going, look, all these people have talked about it. People like the spokesperson, John Kirby. Hey, fuck off.
John Gotti says he's not in the mafia.
Yeah,
and there is no mafia.
So here, we'll keep going. Still, Carlson said to Dore, it seems obvious the Biden people did it, but in doing it, they not only caused this massive environmental catastrophe, but also shafted their so-called NATO allies. He asked, why does no one seem to care about this? They are starting to care about this. I had a joke at the ready and I couldn't remember it, and I apologize. It was that one I just told you.
Yeah.
So in response, Dore said, well, people forget what happened. Americans are the most propagandized people in the world. And they don't even know what's happening in the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. And they think the propaganda happens to other people. So this is 100% propaganda war. Why doesn't Joe Biden want to investigate this? Why doesn't Congress want to investigate this? If they investigate it, it'll show the United States didn't do it and Russia did it. So don't they want to investigate it? Sweden, Denmark, Norway already did their own investigation of this. They won't release it, he claimed.
But did they release it? Is the next paragraph, and you were wrong?
That's when Dore went on a tirade, tying this to the United States' support of Ukraine in its war against Russia and the coronavirus pandemic. So the Nord Stream pipeline doesn't have any, according to Mediaite, doesn't have anything to do with Russia or the Ukraine war. Nothing.
On an environmental level, couldn't they cover it because it's a big disaster?
You
right?
would think.
You know, natural gas. Aren't you supposed to get rid of your stove now or something?
According to them, the United States, I'm tying it like a crazy conspiracy theorist.
He didn't respond. By the way, he claimed, and then that's the part where if you're a journalist, you go,
we looked into his claim.
We looked into it. It turned out they did release it, and he's an idiot. Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for the journalism.
That's right. Just like they don't want to investigate the cause of the coronavirus outbreak. I'm repeating Jeffrey Sachs's words, who's the head of the Lancet Group study group on the coronavirus. He says that nobody wants to find out where it actually came from. That's where that comes from. Just like they don't want to investigate them because they already know the answers. You know, America has turned into a mafia state. A tiny cabal of people have control of our government, and they are using it to do war for economic profit. This is all solid. This isn't any. I don't think anything is
I can't
controversial.
believe they made the mistake of putting what you actually said in here.
They're actually quoting me.
That's really something. They're really testing the effectiveness of propaganda by doing that.
I think maybe the person who wrote this was told to go smear me, but the person who had to write it is actually sympathetic.
Who is this, GPT?
And so this is their way, like, okay, well, I'll just show everything.
Maybe it's like,
So I'll just show everything Jimmy Dore said, and then
because it is like that.
Yeah, it's like they're making me look good. It's like when those people on Twitter tweet out videos of me saying stuff they think will be embarrassing, but it's like great, and I retweet it.
The smarter ones know not to do that.
Yes, the dumber ones
Let's
always.
give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's betraying.
So I think this guy, whoever wrote this, I'll look at it. I'll find it in a second. I think he's betraying the Mediaite because he's making me look good. The difference between our mafia state now and back then, the mafia helped defeat the Nazis back then. And now we're arming the Nazis, Dore said while Carlson laughed because it's funny.
Yeah.
Isn't it just like Americans to ignore the Nazis suffering here at home, trying to buy eggs while we fund Nazis in other countries? It's unbelievable what's happening. It made him laugh twice. And he's a professional. Dore, this is really about World War III, and why aren't they investigating it? They won't even ask them the question. Dore went on to claim that the only White House officials are discussing the issue, but the U.S. State Department officials such as Antony Blinken and Victoria Nuland won't. What claim? So we actually looked into Dore's claim, and we found out it was true, or it wasn't true, or we couldn't find out.
I mean, it's a ridiculous conspiracy.
They just keep saying claim.
How about they just have an alternate explanation of what it could be?
You mean Dore didn't bring his charts and graphs to him for a 3-minute guest appearance on the Tucker Carlson show? Jimmy Dore didn't show his work in a 3-minute spot on the Tucker Carlson show?
What does the chart say? Shit you already know?
By the way, these are the same people who lied us into the Iraq war, lied us into about Libya, lied about Syria, dropped so many bombs in Syria they ran out of bombs. They're doing the same thing, he said. Dore's conspiracy-filled rant didn't end there. Of course, you're not debunking any of them. They'll just say Dore claims, and we're not going to try and debunk it because we know it's true.
Is he saying that they didn't lie about Iraq?
So they're yeah, I know. Are you pretending they didn't lie about Iraq or Libya or Syria or 20 years in Afghanistan? Dore's conspiracy field too. Do you see how many times this is all they have? So they do this. This is what the establishment does in lieu of disappearing people because that's harder. So they just do this. They try to do character assassination, and that's what Mediaite's doing. Dore's conspiracy-filled rant didn't end there, with him claiming, again, the case they claiming, Russia was provoked into invading Ukraine because of violated peace treaties. You know who else thinks that? Noam Chomsky. Henry Kissinger. And anyone else who seriously looked at this, and everyone else in the middle, from heads of state, from the secretaries of state, from the Bush administration, from Clinton, everybody's agreed that this. I mean, this isn't Jimmy Dore claiming. This is Jimmy Dore repeating. America is the world's terrorist. 400 military bases surrounding China, he ranted. Again, they don't debunk any of this. They just keep saying claims. We provoked this. People don't know that. The CIA got in bed with the right-wing Nazis in Ukraine to overthrow the democratically elected government in 2014. These are all facts that are in evidence already. That's why they don't try to debunk it. So that's why I think this guy actually is on my side, because he just keeps...
Well, if you're going to be positive towards him, otherwise he's like that. He would be stupid, like really stupid.
Stupid to print this if he wasn't on my side. So
let's say he's on your side and give him benefit of the doubt.
I am.
Yeah.
So Dore then praised Carlson, claiming, by the way, you're the only one doing this, and I applaud you for letting people come on and speak the truth about what's actually happening in Ukraine. Other stations, when I watch what they do, they start the history of Ukraine from Putin's invasion. They never tell you that we overthrew the democratically elected government in 2014. They never tell you that. So this guy is doing my bidding.
And he goes, when he says
he continued
that you mentioned Minsk and then suddenly stop and say, anyway, I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
That even sounds better than what happened.
Well, they were yelling in my ear to stop.
Oh.
So like the fourth time that they go, stop. And I'm like, all right, I'll leave it there. Like I just kept going.
Because the time was up or because...
Yeah, the time was up for the segment. I was the last guest, so they had squeezed, Carlson, after 3 minutes of Dore's rambling, said, "You sound like a Putin shill, Jimmy Dore," before laughing. Carlson's past segments alleging the United States played a role in the attack on the pipelines received significant coverage in Russian state media, but widespread condemnation elsewhere. I mean, elsewhere where the military-industrial complex owns the media.
And I didn't even see widespread condemnation.
They wouldn't even talk about it.
The one I sent you will probably get was, hey, don't be so hard on Cy Hirsch just because he's wrong about this.
Yeah. This is the most propagandized country in the world. It makes me sad to agree with you, but I do. That
guy's on your side.
This guy's on my side. So what's the guy's name who wrote this?
Hey, Juan Holmes.
Juan Holmes or Juan Holmes?
I think it's Juan.
Juan, nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Juan. I got it. Hey, that Jimmy Dore's an asshole. Now here's everything he said verbatim.
Yeah.
Without anything to debunk it. Isn't he a jerk? Please print this, my boss at Mediaite. So thank you very much, Juan. That was very well done. I'll just call you Mr. Holmes. How about that? So I don't have to butcher your first name. Doing live stand-up comedy in Tempe, Palm Springs, Milwaukee, Nashville, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, and Hartford, Connecticut. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets and become a premium member. Get access to all our content.